Hello, folks. We have a 4chan leak. Now, people have been messaging me, can I cover this? I don't usually cover these type of things. I just think they're generally bullshit. But, however, I could be wrong, so I am going to go through it with you all. So, here we go. Let's get it on up. How do we do this now? Let's have a look. This way. There we go. So, I have 3 degrees and very... we've gone right, yeah. Right, sorry. Hello and goodbye all. I'm speaking out because I, and now others, also know what is coming. You will be receiving more secret information on the UAPs over the next 2 years as a gradual measure before the grand reveal. Sounds dramatic. I want you all to be prepared for the eventualities here. I have 3 degrees and very high competence in algorithm design. I was directly involved in the autokinetic implementation of a European country's 0 point crafts. I have membership with multiple hard-to-reach agencies across Europe. Even then, I still know very little about the full 0 point capability of every single country I've worked for. Wow, okay. So multiple countries he's worked for on 0 point energy. Recently, I was part of what is known as a NHE-7 debrief, directly receiving communication from a being originating outside of this planet. Okay, interesting. This NHE has been in support of the human race for a very long time and will be leaving Earth soon to make way for what is coming. I wonder if he's on about Valiant 4. Who remembers Valiant 4? I wonder if it's connected to that. The Earth has historically been a battleground for alien species. Over tens of thousands of years, exotic species have demonstrated magical, actually just quantum ability to people of this planet to attain local godlike status. Think Mahabharata and Hinduism. Some of this was for personal gain, whereas some were genuine sacrifice to teach people of this planet how to correctly increase quantum states to positive, what we call integer flows. The repeated destructive flows was eventually stopped after a benevolent species laid claim to this planet and left behind an autonomous facility to regularly audit the planet for any outside interference. Interesting. I can see why people wanted me to cover this, but this planet has been under the protection of this ever-watching autonomous facility for a very long time. Could this be something to do with the moon? This is now ending due to depletion of local resources, not just on this planet. It has been unable to print craft occupants for a while and has been gradually reducing the size of autonomous bots in an effort to maintain audit operations. I will only answer sensible questions. So let's go down to what he replied. Okay. I was warned I would get some shizo comments, but even reading this one weirded me out of it. The threat is not about a nuclear weapon detonating directly. It's the weapon being allowed to detonate due to the lack of resources from our autonomous facility to stop it from happening. Now, I've said for many years that the UAPs will not allow nuclear weapons to be fired off. So I'll be interested to see what he says here. The Earth is about to be opened up to outside interference, again in the most overt way possible. I don't know anything about time traveling or kidnappings or about a robot god. I never used to. I was brought up on I think he's answering a question here, sorry. I never used to. I was brought up on intellectual. I was very intelligent to religious later in my life. But recently I felt a strong change within myself, specifically towards the message of Christ. Personally, only the message of Christ encapsulates everything I think the average person should be working towards, and it has a very strong correlation with the NHE briefing I received. Whether this happened before or after I learned what I know, I'm unsure. I've worked with associates of the Vatican who seem to be under no illusion the autonomous facilities was left behind by Christ. According to them, after the facility is broken and the planet is in crisis, Christ will appear and restore protections to this planet. Jesus was apparently a high-status traveling being of another NHE species who placed multiple protections on this planet through the autonomous facility. All reference to these other civilizations who worship non-malevolent entities were erased. Okay, that's interesting. So a lot of us have always said Jesus was an alien. This could be providing some sort of story to that. There's zero evidence. This is the problem I have with 4chan. There is zero evidence, always or anonymous. Yeah, I call bullshit on a lot of things. I'm going to quickly claim bullshit to this story as well, but who knows? Could be. Let's have a go. With the cessation of the autonomous facility, the planet will be open to outside interference again. I've been told it is as grand as receiving civilizations across space. The problem we have are some of the species not having good intentions towards this planet. We are rich in life-giving resources. Most species run out of materials and have to plunder other planets, which we will have almost no defense to should they have to that's them writing, that's not me being a weirdo. No defense to should to induce world-changing events like altering the electromagnetic field of our planet and opening us up to a catalysm. Most of us wouldn't survive, though the inbound species would. Okay, so someone's saying they'll wipe us out, but the people coming in wouldn't. They wouldn't be wiped out. Okay, which makes sense in a way. The common man cannot defend themselves against this, but with advancements in UAP technology, a select few will survive by habiting other planets in the solar system. Okay, so let's just remove that second. So far, this is far out. This is like, basically Jesus was an NHI, a non-human intelligence. He put protection on this planet, and something's going to basically fuck us up, and they're going to try and allow things to this planet, and that's when maybe a second coming would come. Maybe a second coming. Could it be the humans that are doing this? That the humans, the gatekeepers of this, are going to be potentially fucking with us, using the technology they've been reverse engineering, or to, I don't know, stage something like a blue beam. I don't know. I could say that this screams absolute bullshit to me. So I'm not saying, I'm going to make it crystal clear, I'm not saying this is real. People have been asking me to cover this thing. I really didn't want to. I don't really like sitting here reading, but I will. I'll go through it and I'll read through it the best I can. It's a bit stupid the way he's worded some of these things. So let's go back to the stage. Let's have a look. I don't want to post on a website with such a strong set of identifying data on users. Anything from browser ID, HWID, IP could be fuzzy, matched with one of the machines. I don't want that to happen. These are obviously he's replying to some of the questions and stuff. I'm not any Transformers model, though I did help build one of the biggest iterations of a Europe-owned bilatent model to try and decode some symbols given to me from an exotic craft. I'm not the best software developer, and the best people in the field are just flat out not working on this cutting-edge technology. Someone's commented, LARP would have worked better if you had just said you're atheist, buddy boy. Okay. What about the nobody? Is he incarnation of this savior? Right, let's see if he's put anything else here. He's put an image here. I don't know what this image is. Oh, this is from that sphere in it. That's from that sphere. I feel I'm closer to being an atheist than a real Christian. I've seen a cross on exotic material NH-7 explained to us. The cross is just symbolic of doing more than what you would normally do to raise the quantum frequency of this planet. It feels as if everything I've worked towards in pursuit of intelligence has just melted away in the past few years. The technologies behind zero-point crafts are not difficult at all. The average university physics chemistry lecturer across most top-tier universities in Europe could recreate the technology with appropriate knowledge. I was directly involved with the construction of zero-point craft using copper, not material non-native to this planet. He's commented, genuinely wondering what the fuck you're asking me. I said sensible questions only. I'm not reading the questions, by the way, because I know what it means. It's morons. I believe in the human race. The incentive structures is all wrong, and society is in a constant state of spiraling because of the lack of moral policing between common people. It's not a top-down problem, it's bottom-up. It will take time, but I believe we will get there if we are allowed to have enough time for that to occur. There will be a great catalysm in the near-term future. The method of deployment does not matter. Certain European countries have been working with America to figure out how to prevent it from occurring at all. This is interesting. It's interesting. I think he's probably just... What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comments at the minute what you're thinking when it comes. Are you sure? When I first saw the thing, I wouldn't know. I don't know what that is. Just let me go down and see if there's anything else. Right. Prismata. I think that's how you say it. I never directly saw NHE-7. We were full-face blindfolded before we got into the room. I could hear machinery and gentle clang periodically. There was definitely a breathing pattern, approximately one breath per 7 to 8 seconds. It sounded hoarse and tired. Prior to the session, I was told by one very elusive military senior, Italian, the purpose of the session was to receive instructions on what to do going forwards and to be as open-minded as possible. There were seven of us with me. All of us had a silent understanding not to speak to each other or do anything erratic. I did not recognize anybody and did not ask what branch they belonged to. I remember hearing/experiencing a very distinct knocking noise as we were led into the room with NHE-7. It wasn't in my ears, it was directly in my brain. The senior leading up kept telling us to be open-minded and not to be afraid. At one point, I was physically seeing the space around me while the blindfold was still on. In what seemed like ultraviolet leaning colours, I knew exactly where to walk. We took seats opposite NHE-7, who told us he's been waiting for this day for a very long time. His voice was almost my own. Okay, so they're speaking to an alien now. Playing in what felt like my own brain, I was constantly shivering through this process. I felt strange, goosebumps released before he would communicate. I saw the Earth spinning, fire on the planet, great tsunami waves, and a light becoming incredibly bright in the sky. It made me physically put my hands up to block whatever was playing in my mind. Wow. His purpose was to ensure this planet would survive long enough for what was written. There was to be no interference in the growth of humans, for we were going to be measured on the lapse of protection period. A series of patterns played out in my mind, most of which I cannot link to anything yet, but we have a very clear mental visual of, he said, we were to propagate those ideas through the public. The person you are replying to isn't me, not is the other comment I've tagged above. Sorry. It's a bit confusing here. I haven't heard of this. I've been living in a military site for a while. I'm not sure what I'll be actively thinking about. Will not actively be thinking about this. I do not think we are supposed to leave this planet. We are the children of this planet and should be protecting it. As it is given to us, we needed to exist. To me, it feels like it would be abandoning your mother during a war-like attack. I would rather go down with the ship, but in the face of whatever is about to come, it might be the case that even I would change my mind. I was brought onto the program via the gate system in England. Okay, so this is an English whistleblower then. Your post reads schizo, but I am well aware of the silent nature of these crafts. All quantum entities, what people describe as consciousness. I didn't know England had a gate program, by the way. I thought that was in the United States. It's just the quantum wave having the ability to self-express. According to NHE-7, we exist to maximize the calculation of the quantum wave to prevent overlap from other existing quantum waves. A positive quantum integer on this planet is for the net benefit of the cosmic field, leading to a future where we will be allowed to live. If we do not have a positive quantum integer, the population will be culled to prevent our quantum waves from negatively impacting the state of the entire quantum wave. Think of the quantum wave as a timeline, though not entirely accurate. God, boy, confusing me here. There are many. I've read reports saying they are already set up shop to capitalize as soon as the protections have expired. Okay, so there's people in the background, NHIs, watching, monitoring us, waiting for the time to thing in and bang, straight on us. I want to answer this, but do not want to extrapolate. I don't think there are government plans for anything right now. I don't think they're in the loop at all. Let's go down. See, so far, guys, I don't know why people want me to do this one, but right, let's have a look. I've detailed most above. The most things point have already been mentioned. The only thing I want to put out there right now is the implication of us effectively being naked for the first time in a very long time. I cannot begin to explain the terrifying nature of what I felt when I was shown the autonomous facility ceasing. It wasn't the disappearance that frightened me the most. It was knowing this incredibly powerful entity will no longer be watching us and protecting us from God knows what. I can say I spent a lot of time stationed in Italy and Germany. I cannot give any details of the rest. So let's say then that this is true, and this is something that's protecting us, and the people gatekeeping this technology are aware of this, and they're building up the protection in the background, and they don't want to tell us. This would be a reason to not tell the population, I would guess, because yeah, it would cause a lot of panic to people, and they may be trying to build an army to try and fight whatever comes, or to try and protect us. They may be doing good things. Tom DeLonge said that he's under no illusion that the government are doing a good job. They're trying to protect us. This could be the case. We could think they're trying to harm us or they're trying to us, but in the end, they could be trying to protect us. And we could be asking for something we really don't want to know. We don't want to find out about. But if this is the truth, we're reading it now and we're not really scared, are we? I think we'd rather know so we can try and, help. How about getting 9 billion people helping to try and figure this out, try and do something about it? Because some of the people that are working on this aren't the smartest people on the planet. So let's go. I was thinking about posting my actual ID cards. Some have very unique military symbols on them. Do it. That's what you need to do. But I haven't made peace with that decision yet. Some people have reached out to me to publicize things appropriately with certain legal protections, but there's no such thing when you work in this field. I kind of agree with that. I don't know about any concrete timeline, but the lapse of our autonomous facility is definitely happening. The evidence is basically pointing to imminent closure, with some of the crafts being released quite literally unfinished due to lack of resources. There's a jellyfish UFO, which is quite literally an unfinished sphere type. I struggle with the jellyfish. I think it's a fucking balloon, guys. Lacking the capacity to completely cloak itself as others crafts do. Gravitational distortion plus out of human colour spectrum light emissions. There are spheres being erased that barely have the ability to propel themselves, never mind any ability to cloak, gather information. It wouldn't surprise me if all this is projected to happen in 2027. Come on, anybody could have said that with all the rumours that are going around 2027. Come on. Yes, I agree. The measure of secrecy has quite literally caused the downfall of all humankind. The generation currently aged 50 to 90 have almost entirely destroyed the prospect of long-term human survival. That's interesting. Well, I'm 39, so it's not me. Have a look. Tell me all the evidence you have of the facility closing. How familiar are you with other leaks? There have been some big leaks about the facility existing in the Bermuda Triangle. Tell me most convincing thing you have physically seen yourself. How do you know you aren't receiving a psyop? That must be a question. Let's have a look here. Right. I'll humour you a bit, OP. Seems like you are not American if one were you to judge how to write. What is the point of all this? I mean, this quite literally. What is the literal point of having Earth being a battleground? If they wanted godlike status, why did they not stop intervening in the violence and pain people felt across the planet? A centuries-old facility only exists to audit if other planets are coming to Earth. 2, cosmic entities coming to Earth to me seems like all of NATO versus the entire zebra population. What could the average person do to protect themselves, as it would be implied that they have technological strength that far exceeds anything we could possibly engineer? Well, we don't know that because we are being told we have the technology now as well. We have the technology to take the extraterrestrials back to their own planet. We might be underselling ourselves here. We might actually be able to defend ourselves. We do not know this. This could be the point for all the wars, to get the funding to do all the back engineering and to get these crafts made in the background. This is what we could be doing. We don't know. From a mathematical point of view, if what you say is true, then aliens have been here since the very creation of humanity. Under this train of thought, Earth is probably in the territory of another larger, more advanced species that's colonized the Milky Way galaxy. So, why would all the alien races come here when they can just go to the source for whatever they want? It's got a very good point here, whoever's asking that question. Approximately one breath per 7 to 8 seconds. You counted this. It's got to be an estimate what he's saying. With the amount of Earth-like planets in the universe, why come here if they are technologically advanced? Couldn't they just invent what they lack? Again, another good point. What purpose exactly does a positive or negative quantum wave mean? How is that a concern? And did he reply to these? Right. The evidence can be seen in now declassified images of some of the crafts themselves. You'll see how more of them fail over time and come back to this post to validate new information. The facility had to use a lot of backup resources during the New Jersey Jones encounters to protect the planet from an imminent threat. The orbs that were seen above America that day were scanning for the hostile NHEs and their crafts. I'm not familiar with many other leaks, but before making this post, I did give it a quick search. The one I know to be very real is the Bigelow 2009 to 2010 leak. Most communication to America via European counterparts occurred through that company. I have physically handled exotic material and built algorithms to have the craft move in autonomous ways, i.e. intercepting a missile or avoiding collisions on a somewhat randomly instantiated route. The crafts we build are hybrid digital quantum in their mechanistic functions, whereas the only truly exotic are 100% quantum. I do not entirely understand how communication occurs to these crafts using ordinary waves. I've always known gravity to bend space-time, but the quantum element here enables us to imprint an intent on the craft itself, bypasses laws. Do you know what? I'm really losing the interest in this fucking thread. I really am. I'm trying to see if there's anything here that's just... Anybody could do this. You could use ChatGPT to write this bullshit. You really could. Right, guys, sorry, the link for this will be in the description. I'm not going through this anymore because I can't be passionate about something that I think's bullshit, and that's just my honest opinion. If you want to believe it, that's fine, that's great, that's your prerogative, what you want to do. But for me, I just think it's bullshit. I'll share the video, obviously. It's going to go out there and you can go through it. I've done my best to read what I could. It didn't make sense to it. For someone so smart, you know, his writing was a bit poor and stuff like that. So yeah, that's all I'm going to let me move that off there. That's all I'm going to say in it, really. So I'm going to scream absolute bullshit on it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I hope I'm right because it doesn't sound very good if he's telling the truth. I just scream bullshit. What do you think, people? Anyway, just let me know in the comments if you think I've done the right thing ending the video early, or you want me to carry on. And if you want me to carry on, if there's enough people say, please go through it all, I'll go through it all and I'll do a part 2 of it. But really, there seems too much there, and it just seems I could be reading out to some guy that's bullshitting, and that's that. I can't get passionate about that. I'm sorry. I am sorry. So thank you for listening. The next video will be up soon, and that will be something a bit better than this.